Why would they just kind of go, we have no idea what this is? If this truly is from a UAP report, if the context is that it actually is still labeled unidentified, maybe that's by design. Maybe journalists, not only Tim, this isn't against him, but journalists that are publishing this stuff actually believe that the government doesn't know what some of it is. And so it tells the public, wow, the government's really stupid and inept. They don't know what they're doing. They can't even tell that this is a Batman balloon. And of course, that ridicule against the government may be what they want. For years, they tried to label UFOs and got themselves tripped up. Again, Roswell, hello. How many times did they change their tune? Why? Because of people through the years, like my friend, the late Stanton Friedman, who would drill and drill and drill and challenge the company line. So maybe this is just simply the same cover-up and conspiracy, but with a new tactic. Just say, hey, we have no idea what's going on, and give the aura of being clueless, when in reality, you have two sides to the UAP issue. One, the Batman balloons. Those are the cases that you actually can verify. Those are the cases that you actually can solve. But make the public think you can't. Make them think that you're completely inept. You're the most highly trained intelligence officials ever, but you can't figure out a Batman balloon? I'm here to say they probably did. And when the skeptical responses to the FLIR 1 and the gimbal and the Go Fast video came out, and balloons were attributed to that also, a lot of people labeled those skeptics and debunkers as being big meanies. How dare they say that? It's really weird, though, that official documents about those videos say exactly that. Balloons. Are these the visuals in the UAP manuals and reports of saying, look, this is what we can achieve through investigation. We can identify these. But these other ones, we can't. These other ones are the highly classified ones that are not American tech. Those aren't the ones leaking out. But when you look at the actual documents and it shows you verification of what the skeptics are saying, if you don't know what this document is, this is the DD Form 1910 that Luis Elizondo had filled out, which described the FLIR 1 gimbal and Go Fast videos up here. What were they? This was for a classification review, so they could use it to help identify, analyze, and ultimately defeat unmanned aviation system threats. Those are drones, if you're not familiar with the acronym. It was never meant to be released to the public. I've done a lot of videos on this. I'm not trying to beat that dead horse. What I'm trying to say is this document here actually supports the theory that this probably is training material. Part of that Rosetta Stone for uncovering what is a real UAP and what is not. And if there's a little public deceit in the process, so be it. They've done it for 70 plus years. Why not continue the trend? They're not coming clean. Hate to tell you, people hate me for saying that. There's going to be no disclosure. How do I know? They've shut it down from top to bottom, classifying everything and won't release it. Now, I'm still trying through legal channels, but the way to do it through the press office has all been shot down. And the time it takes to get answers and so on and so forth, it's just not productive for any of us to continue that way. So yeah, the FOIA, as much as some people say, wow, the FOIA is never going to give you anything, FOIA has given you the best UFO official documentation that's ever been produced. Sure, there's been some leaked stuff, but you know what? Maybe there's more to this story than meets the eye. And that goes back to Susan Goff's quote, including those incursions initially designated as UAP. Again, those cases that may have been UAP from day one, but day 20, maybe it was a Batman balloon. And those are part of it. So is there that aura of we have no idea what these objects are when deep down, yes, they do know? Put it out there into the ether and let the public dissect it and go, wow, this is fantastic. And then you realize within hours, like it was only like an hour when people were putting around that Batman balloon, that it was solvable. That in itself muddies the water and confuses the heck out of everything, including other countries, including our competitors, so to speak, our rivals. And it may show them the intelligence in just the way that the United States intended. Make the United States seem inept, dumb, and can't figure it out. And Putin might go, they can't figure out a Batman balloon? Okay, well, let's not focus on our efforts as hard or put as much money because these guys are pretty, worthless. That, from an intelligence standpoint, has value. Deceive the American public to a point, because again, done it for 70 plus years, it also has intelligence value on a global scale. And that is the true, or part of the true definition to counterintelligence as a whole anyway. Prevent espionage, sabotage, assassinations, or other intelligence activities conducted for or on behalf of foreign powers, organizations, or persons. In essence, confuse the heck out of everything and prevent really bad stuff from happening. And what's really weird is the guy that was chosen for that alleged UFO study within the Pentagon was a counterintelligence officer. Why would you do that? Project Blue Book had, yes, military brass at the top, but they knew that they weren't capable or qualified to look at all of those UFO cases themselves. So what then do? They brought in J. Allen Hynek, the scientific advisor, because he was qualified. So why do this with a counterintelligence officer? Unless you have a different effort. So would you put that balloon out there just to paint a different story? One of deceit. Continuing the trend that you have done for so long, but in a slightly different 21st century, 2020 crazy way. Let the public believe you're stupid. Let the world think you're inept. Let worldwide intelligence agencies scratch their head just a little bit. But in a classified setting, those lawmakers, all the way up to the president of the United States, excuse me, if he's going in there to learn more about UAPs, they sit down and go, this is the effort. It's a muddy the water, murky everything up to the point where you, as the general public, get so frustrated and you get so tired of it, you just say, forget it. I don't even care anymore. I'm tired of it. Batman balloons are getting headlines on Fox News right now. That, if the theory, just a theory before everybody just writes me and goes, John's crazy. If that theory has any weight whatsoever, then you guys getting frustrated, me getting frustrated is exactly the point. You put your head in your hand and just say, forget it. I'm so tired of this. I'm going to go bake a cake because I am sick and tired of the UFO stuff that just keeps going out there and gaining worldwide attention because people aren't asking the right questions or enough questions. And if this is some kind of CI effort, counterintelligence effort, that they are trying to deceive the public for the greater good, history shows us they will absolutely do it. 100%. And even though we have our jokes about the government essentially not being, smart, that you love to have all of us have those jokes about the government being inept. They're really not. And generally, when you think certain things are true, if the last 25 years have taught me anything, it's that if you think something is true, generally it's not. And the crazier the theory is, then it generally has a little bit of truth to it. And that's what government secrecy research does. That is why the FOIA is important, is to shine the light on the crazy stuff that has happened in the past. Because even though this sounds crazy now in 2020, that why would the government deceive the public? Why would they act clueless? Why would they do this? Why would they let certain things leak out? Well, that DD Form 1910 wasn't, in my opinion, supposed to be out in the open. Yes, it eventually leaked. I don't think it was supposed to. And when I went after it via FOIA and uncovered the name of who did it, which we all knew, I'm not sure when it leaked, they blacked it out. But regardless, you start looking at the inside information, Not the stuff they want you to see, but the stuff they don't want you to see. It starts to paint a very different picture. And that's why all of this is important.